Good morning or afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another race in the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. This is Game 3 between JTB and tstew14. They are playing to advance in the brackets. One of them will get a bracket spot today. The other will fall into the losers brackets, and we'll have to play another series against either Co-Ride or Co-Ride. I'm JP, and I am joined by Willard. How are you doing today, Willard?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, my good friend JP.
Yeah, we are going to be having some fun here today. This is going to be a pretty interesting race. Like I said, it is a race 3. We are going to have to see how these runners fare because neither of them want to fall into that losers bracket. There is a potential... there's potential for you just basically don't want to have to risk it.
Right. You don't really want to play another set, and especially because depending on who wins the other match, it might end up being like a rematch, and rematches are always real scary. We got the lamp right off the bat here in Link's house, which clearly means this is an Agassiz right out the get go. Yeah, it looks like both players are taking the same route up to Uncle. JTB grabbing a sign with him just so he can kill that guard so he can check the tier 1 tree pole. Hoping to find bombs or maybe rupees, but only getting hearts this time.
Well, he did at least get that full magic. So that's going to be nice early on, especially if he gets something that uses magic, though the hammer doesn't.
Well, now here's a good thing to think about. Are these players going to go ahead and just do escape at this moment, especially with that lamp in hand? If you find a small key in the front, you could just go all the way to the back.
Yeah, that is a very interesting thing. JTB's not going. Oh no, he is. Let's say JT.
It looks like
he's not going to do it. They both are.
Yeah, it looks like both of them thought about it for a second. So apparently, the settings we got today are: this is a 6 crystal seed, which means that you only need 6 of the 7 crystals to enter GT and to defeat Ganon. And apparently we also are doing map and compass shuffle. So map and compass are going to be shuffled outside of their dungeons or just in the general pool. But more importantly, it means that we're not going to find out what our crystal or pendant dungeons are until we either beat them or find the map for them. So this will be a pseudo mystery seed as we go along here.
Get that small key right away so they can do all of escape, including the back, right now.
And if you're one of these players, you're hoping like gloves in the back or something, and that your opponent didn't make the same route.
Yeah, absolutely. So the interesting thing about 6-6 is you only have to clear 6 crystals. That could mean you have all 7 available, and you can basically skip 1. It can also sometimes mean that there's still only 6 crystals available that you can clear. We'll have to see which way this plays out.
And
but the MC Shuffle...
Oh, sorry.
The MC Shuffle, it essentially means there's 2 more items per dungeon. So both are heading down into the guard area. You'll probably see them set up death warps.
Yeah, and that'll be easy to do at only 3 hearts in green mail. 300 rupees in Zelda Cell. That's, 300 rupees towards the 500 that we need for Zora, as well as, a couple other rupee requirements through the seed, bottle vendor, opening pod, digging game. You need some dollars in this game. And getting 300 this early is pretty comfy.
To answer a quick question in chat, they're asking about how 6-6 can work. You could have, like I said, you could have all 7 available. You could also have the requirements for one of the 7 locked in GT, meaning that you could only do 6.
Yeah, from my experience, both playing 6-6 and watching it, is it always seems like the 7th crystal is just not available to be complete outside of doing going to GT or something, which is a right shame, But yeah, and it's usually T-Rock, but we'll find out. We'll find out what our last crystals, or what crystal we're gonna end up skipping here.
I was gonna say T-Stew needed to be a little careful. He was down to 1 heart, but he did get a heart there, so he's in better shape. Oh, he's farming for a bomb. He doesn't have a bomb yet. Neither does JTB.
Yeah, neither of them do. A lot of arrows from the rats here, but not looking like we're gonna be seeing any bombs, and he's just gonna save and quit.
Yeah, that's really actually
no point in continuing.
That's smart considering V31, because V31 did do a change with the prize packs. I believe the prize packs themselves are no longer randomized within themselves, like the prize packs aren't randomized, but the which enemies drop which prize pack is still randomized. And so they basically found out that rats aren't in the bomb dropping prize pack.
Yeah, I think like the green guards and the ropes are in the same pack, and it's one of those things that it's like I haven't really sat down to memorize them yet. We did get our info for Desert Palace, and I missed it because we did find the map. It is a crystal. All right, that is one of the first crystals. All right, good. And both runners going to continue on the same route. Going to go up here, checking more tree poles. I believe that would. I guess that would have to be the tier 2 tree pole. And only hearts off of the bush crab, so still no bombs in sight.
JTB making the all-important pickup of the bug net.
Very important. Clearly, I mean, this is like a swordless seed right here, just looking at it, you know. Oh, now you can use bug net on Ganon. Because it's sometimes better than using the hammer, but obviously this is not swordless. We will be finding swords. When that is, no idea, but...
I mean, that is one of the good purposes of the bug net, is if you are playing a swordless seed, as JTB gets a glove, that's a nice pickup. It means I can get to the back at some point. But yeah, if you are playing a swordless seed, the bug net is nice for your Aghanim fights, because it's a little easier to use than the hammer.
Alright, well, gloves already in Kakariko. JTB buying some bombs so he can clear all these bomb spots. Just full clear Kakariko. tstew not too far behind. And, wow. More money right off the bat. Almost at 500 rupees for Zora already. Even with the purchase from the bottle vendor. And the other thing, JP, almost called you JTB. Very annoying. Very confusing. We're just a moon pearl away from that Dark World access at this point.
That is true. If they find the moon pearl in Kakariko, they can go straight into Dark World from here. JTB clearing out the well. There's some more money, a blue tunic, and more money.
Now his Guy Fieri sprite is rocking some blue flames on his t-shirt. Very nice.
So, pretty much our last chance for getting that dream right into Dark World from Kakariko is here in blind sets.
As a player, I don't know. It's tough. I don't think I'd rather see like a Moon Pearl over in like the Zora area or maybe Mini Moldorn.
Well, I mean, you might get your wish because JTB picked up some flippers and more money to ensure he can buy whatever Zora's got.
This is the third 300 we've seen already.
No Moon Pearl there. Got one more check to do in Kakariko. Well, 2 more checks. You can see the library and check race game.
Having flippers is nice now because then you could just go to the dam, go to Mini Moldorn, do all your Zora stuff, Waterfall, Hobo, Zora Ledge, and Zora himself. So that's nice to route that in. But of course, there's also, you know, could sequence break up Death Mountain. Still needs to check back of Escape. Still has the whole East Palace area.
Death Mountain wouldn't be a sequence break. You've got
he does have the lamp. Sorry. That is true. Not used to seeing lamp this early.
Yeah, same. Oh, J2 is not even checking the library.
What a gamble! That's a crazy gamble. Not really.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I can't get it. I mean, I don't think he even checked lumberjack either, because that's just another spot he can't get anyway.
yeah. I do agree with the lumberjack check. Don't check it until you get boots and route it in with your bonk rocks check.
Mm-hmm. But we'll probably see it on tstew's side for sure. While we get to see what is in the back of Escape, three chests back here. Could be good. Okay, just a heart piece in the library. Not a very exciting. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Alright, more dollars. That's our fourth 300.
Yeah, it's raining rupees in Hyrule today.
It really is.
But it looks like we're going to have some South Shore checks now. tstew following JTB. Check out the back of Escape. Now, even though the runners are getting all these rupees, the rupees do not necessarily mean Zora is in logic. The only thing that determines if Zora is in logic is if you have the glove or the flippers, which they do have.
They have both of those, so...
The game actually does not care what your rupee status is. It can expect you to just go farm rupees to get Zora.
And we've seen that every now and then in tourney races. Just I feel like recently we had two people going back and forth into Blind's Hut to farm the 6 blue rupees in the back. Over and over and over again. The nice thing about having the gloves is if you do end up needing to farm rupees, you can either farm them over at Ice Rod Cave, which is a quick 20 underneath the rock there, or underneath the rock on the way to Desert, which I think is 60 rupees?
It's 50.
50? Okay.
The glove also does give you a backup option for the hula hand strat if you choose to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you find flippers before you find a glove. Or if you find flippers and you have a glove, sorry. What do we got here, Mini Moldorn? We got a compass. A bottle? Alright.
Well, that's one check they had to leave behind at Kakariko, is they didn't have a bottle. Looks like JTB's going to go to Ice Rod Cave. We'll see. Most likely we'll do the Zora checks after that.
So, once again, this is the game 3 between these two runners, and how the tournament has been working is that the loser of each round gets to change one setting for the game. I don't know. I don't remember what order that it went. Who picked 6-6 first? If it was 6-6 first and then MC Shuffle, or the other side. But basically, you can either, for game 3. I think JTB won game 1 or something, and then tstew won game 2. So JTB could have reversed what tstew changed, but instead decided to add on to it. So that's why we have this monstrosity of a seed.
So JTB did not do Zora checks. Let's see if he goes south from here. Some runners like to save and quit, and yeah, okay, he's doing it that way.
Yeah, just save the walk back from Ice Rod Cave to go do Hobo and then go south. Because otherwise, I feel like because routing in Hobo is kind of annoying from Ice Rod Cave, because you either need to do it before you go to Zora, which is going up and going all the way back down. So I kind of like this.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm also so used to just fake flippering to get all this stuff. And then, in that case, I just skip Hobo usually and go straight for the Zora checks. If I'm out of logic, but we have flippers.
I know a lot of runners like to check to keep track of if they find anything with flippers early, because if they don't, they might value flipper checks more later in the seed. I've heard that from a lot of runners lately. the logic behind it is essentially if you get this in an early sphere, it's likely that it's going to lead to something.
Well, we got a map to Tower of Hera and a compass. I was hoping for a compass to the Tower of Hera, but that's another dungeon we can find out about, get more information if JTB or eventually T2 decides to check. Here we go, crystal at Hera. So that's 2 crystals already, and that's good. That's good stuff. You'll like to see these light world crystals. Maybe not so much desert, because desert is... Oh, well, there's our moon pearl over on Zora's Ledge, so that is Dark World access at the end of this, and that flippers... Them flippers are really coming in handy.
So that is going to open up quite a bit of the Dark Worlds. And these runners are going to have some options available to them.
Yeah, and then the next question is, like, when and if are we ever going to see the Eastern Palace area? Might not be until we get a bow or whatnot, so... But, I mean, at the same time, you see that lamp, you see that hammer. Not so much the hammer, but definitely the lamp. It's like, pod maybe? But we'll probably see, like, a Thieves' Town, Village of Outcasts, Hype Cave, all that. The standard route that you would take once you get into the Dark World.
And that tends to be the safe route. Looks like JTB might be going for the Hype Cave start. Yep, I've seen runners favor the Hype Cave start because you get 5 items quick. People like to say that Hype Cave isn't very hype anymore, but it still is 5 checks you get really quick, and even if one of them pays off, it's a good check.
Yeah, and at this point, you're still just trying to focus on high-density areas until you get some more items to get more of a lead. I would be excited to see these runners go for the Thieves' Town play. They don't know if it's a pendant or a crystal, but I want to see some hammer strats on that blind, you know?
Nice thing is, because of MC Shuffle, there's 6 items in there. So even if it's a pendant, you're still getting potentially up to 6 items.
Yeah, that's true. What do we got? We got nothing. Wow. Very disappointing. But that's okay. Now, I feel like most players would probably head left to go check Stumpy and Digging Game, save and quit, then go Village of Outcasts. The problem is, like, for me, I always like to route in Pyramid if I see that the Pyramid Fairy Crystals are late dungeons, like T-Rock or something I'm not going to check for a very long time. But in this case...
Sorry, go ahead, finish it.
They don't know what the Pyramid Fairy is. But
well, I was actually going to say, speaking in this case, you could have gone north and checked the bomb vendor, and you could have gotten that information.
Oh, yeah, that's true. JTB, what are you doing, son? Don't you want that info? Don't you want that sweet intel? Yeah, it's the same. You can go talk to Sahasrara and he'll tell you where the green pendant is.
See if tstew makes the check here. He is going to give us that information.
All right, what do we got? Crystal at Skull Woods and Misery Mire. All right, well, that is 4 crystal dungeons already informed about, and JTB getting a map for maybe another. Oh, well, there, no. Well, he's gonna know that one. Still doesn't check it.
So we've got 4 crystals known. Basically, at this point, each of our other dungeons is a 50-50 shot between crystal and pendant until we get more info. Okay, I see what JTB is doing. He's taking the south route into Kakariko to check the sick kid before he goes into the Dark World.
Is this actually faster?
I don't know.
Doesn't seem faster, but...
Oh, okay. Now that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. He had not checked that earlier, so now he has that information. I'm sure both these runners are probably hoping to find a sword soon.
Right, but does sick kid have a map?
Okay. It's more info. It's good.
Yeah. Early game, you love seeing maps in this scenario because you want that info.
Now the question is JTB going to go ahead and hop into Skull Woods, treat that front like Overworld before heading into Village of Outcast Thieves Town, or just going to go head on straight south?
I feel like when you do the south route early, you can usually play it either way. Do Thieves Town first and then do Skull Woods, or do Skull Woods then Thieves Town. I think both are pretty correct.
Yeah, that's true.
If you were to do... Oh, there's our green pendant.
Yeah, green pendant at Swamp Palace.
Yeah, if you were to do it the other way, like you were to come to Kakariko first and then route to Hype Cave, then you generally want to route Skull Woods first, because otherwise you're losing a little time.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the mitts to show up, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now where do I want to go? Do I do the Smith chain, or did I do the...
So I like this route that JTB is taking. I actually started using this myself since V31, because that key is no longer guaranteed in the... I think it's the shooter room chest, whatever it is. I usually check the middle chest first regardless now, and then I'll drop down that hole. I think it's a little faster.
Drop it down the holes faster than just walk in through the front?
Yeah. Because you can then go check that second chest right away, and then you can kind of just do a circle through the dungeon. I don't know. I haven't actually timed any of it yet.
Sorry.
It's just kind of... It's
dropping down the hole with the bushes is faster than just walking through the front?
Yeah, especially if you're doing the middle hole first, because it's a couple extra steps you don't take. I don't know, I haven't timed it. It's kind of a personal preference thing.
I mean, if you're coming from like where JTB is and then going back to the front, I could see that.
Yeah, because
like, if your first instinct is just, oh, JTB, did he get both the items already? Or is he... Oh, yeah, or no. He's just bailing. He didn't do the left side.
There's 4 items in here.
He got 2. He got 2 and left. Uh-oh. Because he got a map. He might not be thinking about that. Huh?
Yeah, usually the way I route it is I do the middle first and then come into the front.
Okay.
Because that guarantees I'll have at least one small key at some point.
Mm-hmm. You do the vanilla big key chest. Got it. Oh, that's huge. Sword and pinball room. JTB missing out on that for who knows why. I don't know why he didn't do that. It's not like he was going to be afraid he was going to get locked in there or something. He does know this is MC Shuffle, right? Uh-oh.
He's got to know. He's been getting maps.
Well, guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Who knows? He could just find another sword right away, and then it's kind of non-consequential.
Well, a sword being there is not the worst thing in the world. It depends on where the other swords are.
Of course.
Yeah, I think the other reason I like... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
So the other reason I like doing the middle first now is because it guarantees that one of the chests in the front will be a small key.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know there's never a small key on Mothula. So that's one of the big reasons right there.
And the other thing to look at here is that tstew will very likely have a easier time in the blind fight, unless JTB is comfortable with hammer blind. It can get a little dicey. But who knows? We could find another sword in here. We could find Samaria or Burna. One of the other ways you can damage blind. But yeah, looks like we are going to get the full thieves maybe. At this point, I can't see anyone just like doing the front 4 and then bailing. Though we don't know what our prize is in this dungeon. And there are still 2 pendant dungeons at large. I feel like this is just a good play regardless.
Yeah, definitely. Because at minimum, there's going to be 3 items in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Depending, it could be 4 if you find the small key.
And at the same time, the blue mail does help a little bit, though, their health is pretty low at this point. Anything can help at this point as well.
Yeah, a lot of things in Thieves Town hurt.
Yeah.
Blue mail will reduce most of them to 1 heart. But yeah, you don't have much. You don't have much room for error, especially going through the hellway that's coming up.
Well, let's see. If we don't end up finding anything in here, we still have 2 checks of Death Mountain. We still have Sahasrah's Hut. That's 3. Up to 3 items in Eastern still, and of course, it's 5 items. Well, no, I don't know. Item tracking is a lot harder now since
you'd be able to get it.
There's items in Eastern. There's items in Pot. We have those places we can do.
Yes, there's a lot of options.
But yeah, at the same time, we don't know either of the prizes at Eastern or Pod, so even if you did find a bow, you'd be like, well, I guess I'll just risk it. I mean, the kind of upside to MC Shuffle is, yeah, you're sometimes going to try and put off dungeons if you don't know what their prize is, but, when you're just playing a normal seed, a lot of times, most players will put off pendant dungeons as long as they possibly can, but, and oftener than not, the pendant dungeon, it has the answer. So that's kind of the nice thing about MC Shuffle is you just go with your gut. You just go with it. It doesn't really matter what the prize is because you don't know. So it's certainly interesting.
What do you think we're going to find out when we check that map of Ganon's Tower?
Is this a joke question?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure. The answer is nothing, JP. Alright, well.
Anyway, we got a JTB.
Looking a little dicey up in this dungeon. Oh, nice health refill on JTB's side. Gonna have full health going into this boss. No small key, which means that it's locked inside the big chest. So that's one less check you have to worry about. T2's got to be very careful. Down to 2 hearts. Does have that blue magic on deck, or blue potion on deck if needed. But gonna obviously want to save that as long as possible. Running right into an anti-fairy, not gonna help. Got to be very careful coming up.
Alright, JTB is about to have to do some hammer blind. He talks about any old sword making the cut here. Unfortunately, JTB has no sword to cut with.
Alright, he's got plenty of health to work with. That is unfortunate for T2. Yikes.
Oh, that's gonna cost him some time.
Yeah, I mean, dying there is already bad enough. But especially if you don't get the bomb hole, because now you actually absolutely have to walk all the way back up there. And
we find out this is a pendant.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's 2 pendants we know about now. We just need to find the last one, and then we have all the information we need. Honestly, there was nothing in this dungeon. There was literally nothing. So, yikes. That's very interesting. I wonder where our progression is. At that point, you got to be thinking like, man, there's gonna be something at Saha's Hut or in Eastern Palace or something.
I think JTB is gonna climb the mountain now.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna check Lumberjack while he's over here. Because if he doesn't do it now, I don't know when he would. Well, looks like he's not gonna.
He's probably gonna route it in with a boots check later whenever he gets boots. It's slightly out of the way, but you can't get it till you have boots anyway. So.
Oh, that's why you asked me about Ganon Star. I didn't even see the map was right there.
Yeah. I think you need a couple more sips of coffee there.
I was watching the other guy. I don't know.
That's interesting. He just saved the old man and saved and quit.
Not even gonna check what's in Spectacle Cave?
I mean, you're not really losing any time, I suppose, because you get the save and quit point, so there's really no disadvantage to saving the old man whenever. You'll at least get that point regardless.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, is this the swamp? No, I'm kidding. Obviously.
I think this is
gonna
Pod.
This is probably gonna be. Will he check the bomb shop salesman? Get that crystal 5 and 6? It doesn't look like it.
Well, he's got the 2 maps for it at least now.
Oh, he already got both. Did he already get? He didn't get the Skull Woods one.
He did get the Skull Woods one.
Where was that?
I think it was in the front of Thewstown.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll just be over here, sipping my coffee. Carry on, JP.
So we're gonna see JTB go check the pyramid. See if we've got anything interesting up here. As tstew takes on blind. Just 10 arrows on the pyramid. tstew with that sword is gonna have a little bit faster fight. Not quite on script, but still doing pretty well.
I don't know. I think JTB's was faster. Gotta be careful here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because that fight gets significantly harder if you fail it the first time. And here's your prize. So, will be interesting to see what tstew decides to do. If they're going to follow suit and head to pod as well.
So I believe JTB does have that potion. So if by chance pod is bow locked, he does have a way in.
It's like this is also going to be a Death Mountain check, but we'll probably get to see Spectacle Cave on tstew's side, and if that ends up having like the bow or something, that would be monumental.
Alright, so we get quick info. Is pod bow locked?
If it is completely bow locked, I would feel like bailing. It is. Wow. Okay. Well, that just puts the bow in like East Palace area or up here on Death Mountain. Or in. Are we gonna have another bow in Eastern? Are we gonna have another French vanilla bow?
And the funny thing is, JTB could potion glitch and find a bow in here. The only thing is that would just not be his first expected bow.
Honestly, now that well, at the same time, we're still looking for other items. The bow could be deep in swamp or something. We find the mirror. It doesn't mean it's going to be the very next thing we find.
That's true.
So what JTB's going to do here is he's going to drink a potion while walking left. For whatever reason, it freaks out the camera, so you can do this, and you basically just walk the enemies off screen. The game thinks that you cleared the room because they're not on screen anymore, and all of a sudden the doors open up and you can just walk on by.
Speaking of a mirror...
Was it the mirror? Oh, snap. All right, well, that's huge for tstew. That is Tower of Hera access, and can do all of it. Can also do East Death Mountain, where we're very likely to find some other progression over there. Could also make the swamp dive, but I highly doubt it without that hook shot. Yeah, that's gonna potentially hurt JTB unless he finds something super spicy up in here, like the mitts, or something to give him a little bit more advantage up on Death Mountain.
Yeah, finding mitts would be nice because he could then go back up there and clear it all in one shot. Hook shot would be nice because it would send him back up there anyway.
Yeah, that's just interesting. Skipping one thing can change quite a bit of how the rest of this goes.
Interestingly enough, though, that mirror is not necessarily required because of Swap being a pendant.
Ooh, oh, ooh, all right. Well, that's good for JTB. He'll have the flute. Maybe that will send him up on to Death Mountain to go get that mirror. Is that the only item we? Oh, there's the bridge item. We might. Oh no, we got 10 arrows in the front. I think even in MC Shuffle, I think the rule still applies that the front is always going to have 4 or 5 small keys.
Yeah, it does.
Whoop! A little short on that bomb throw there, JTB bud.
Oh yeah, this room is annoying if you don't have your usual tools. He doesn't have Samaria or bow.
Mm-hmm.
tstew climbing the Tower of Hera has to do it the normal way. No way to set up the Hera pot.
Alright, what else are we going to find in this Palace of Darkness? Or who knows, maybe we'll find something fancy here in Tower of Hera. Blue Boomerang, hey, that's pretty exciting! Wowie!
There's the big key. So JTB's just got the Dark Maze. Fortunately, that flute walt's a nice find, especially since we know Myers a crystal. It doesn't open anything by itself.
Yeah. It's nothing new, no new information or anything like that. The one downside I see about MC Shuffle, though, is that there's the chances of something in the basement is extremely high compared to in standard modes. Which is
we've already got the small key, so we know there's something in the basement.
Crying shame, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, assuming tstew can take it down Moldorn with this hammer, this will be his first crystal, putting him in a slight lead, at least in crystal counts. Though I'd say with that mirror check, pretty comfortable lead. Especially with JTB not finding anything else in pod, and if tstew finds a bow over here on Death Mountain, we'll be able to do pod in one go and save some time there. There is also, you know, that sword in Skull Woods that JTB's not going to be getting anytime soon, or maybe ever.
Where is JTB heading right now?
He's going to activate that flute and then go somewhere. I don't know. He might go for the Eastern play at this point, just because it's a higher density check than that one check all the way up on Death Mountain.
So JTB will get a small advantage for a little bit with the flute. It'll give him some better movement. But probably not enough to make up for the advantage of tstew getting that mirror.
Alright, JTB, where are you gonna go? Desert?
You can check the ledge and you can check Gina.
There's a map. I mean, I guess there's really no time like right now to check this check. Just get it out of the way. Anything fancy in Hera Basement? Nice thing is we do have that mirror to mirror out of here, so you don't have the Death Warp, which is pretty quick. Just a heart piece. So no progression here in Hera either. So there's got to be something over on East Death Mountain. Oh ho ho! Okay. That could be significant. Bombos medallion at Agana's Cave. Of course, that has 3 particular uses. It could be used to open up either Mire or T-Rock. It could also be used in Ice Palace to defeat the to complete the dungeon if you don't have the fire rod. So that is actually a pretty good find. Because if tstew continues to find, you know, mitts or, you know, other stuff to send him elsewhere, And if that Bombos ends up being useful, it might be a while before he gets that.
Well, JTB is making the eastern play, as tstew is going for Spiral Cave and then Paradox Cave. So there's still stuff over here we have not seen between Saharsla and Eastern Palace, so JTB could find something interesting over here that would help him out.
Mushroom? Question mark?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Kind of unknown right now. Is that mushroom a piece of progression or not?
Well, it looks like it might be taking him away from Eastern for the time being. Book. Okay. Interesting find here in Paradox Cave. Still needs another sword upgrade to check either tablet. But it does give you access into Desert Palace, and we might be able to beat it if it's not boots locked.
Now JTB is going to be making the play into Eastern. So there's 4 items he can get for sure in Eastern. The 5th will be on Armos Knights.
This is interesting, because we still don't really, unless there's something in Desert, we still don't really have... I mean, right now I feel like we're looking for, like, the mitts or something. That's gotta be next. Or maybe Hookshot. Dude, mitts in the front of Swamp? Let's go.
I think tstews might be going for Pod now, too. He could also make a dive into Swamp, but without hook shots, it's not really an advisable play right now.
I'm seeing South of Grove Cave, Bombos check, Desert. It's looking like...
That could be a good play for him.
This is a nasty seed, not gonna lie. And you know, if JTB doesn't find anything in Eastern, he's going to be feeling super behind, especially once he sees that mirror up there. But if he finds something huge in here, like a vanilla or French vanilla bow, he'll be feeling pretty good about that. What do we got? Anything? Bottle.
3 more items in here you can get. Well, tstew didn't really find anything in Cave 45. Or Cave South of the Grove.
I mean, the nice thing for JTB is right now that missing that sword in Skullwoods hasn't really cost him much.
Yeah, no fire rod, so you couldn't clear Skullwoods anyway.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else that's required a sword yet.
Bombs. I mean, if he does find fire rod and obviously a sword. That was so quick. Did you see what it said?
Little piece of love.
Okay. Slow down. Well, this is another thing, is this map over here might be some more dungeon info. If it's either Eastern Pod or T-Rock map, we could have information about where our last pennant is. Though it's more than likely going to be a map probably for Thieves Town, now that we already know what it is.
Yeah, this is about the time the maps start to lose some value because you're just going to get repeat information. But tstew can clear Desert if it's not boots locked.
Okay, there it is. That is our progression. So you had to get the Mirror and Spectacle Cave to go to East Death Mountain to get the book in Paradise Cave. To go to Desert to get the mitts. Which is funny, because if you had the mitts and the mirror, you could go to Desert with the flute, but that's not the case. So that's very good for tstew. And no small key, no big key. So done in there already, and looks like gonna end up getting that Bombo. So this route is actually working out very well for tstew.
JTB about to find out that information of what he left behind up here, that mirror. JTB still does have the flute advantage. I can't imagine he'll have it for too long, because at some point tstew is likely going to go check Pod.
Now,
but
I'd say in that scenario, JP, if the bow has to be like over in Mire area or something for that to balance out, for that to benefit JTB. Like the other bows in GT or something, whatever, who cares? But like, because the bows, like, at this point with tstew having the mitts, and a sword and bombos, he can do all of Ice Palace. Oh wow, I didn't think about that.
For Ice Palace.
Well, he does have that blue potion as backup. Fight's a little tough with just a hammer and fighter sword, but you know, you got to follow what the items give you, and right now the items are saying, "Hey, come over to Ice Palace. It's cool here. We got stuff." So what's the next thing we're gonna find? JT, JP. It's so confusing. If only tstew's name was actually like JT, so we'd have JP, JTB, and JT.
Next piece of progression. Let's see. I think we're about due for a fire rod right now.
The old classic, Bombos leading a fire rod. That's a good one. I'm just curious to see if this seed can get any nastier. It hasn't been too bad, but it's getting up there. I'm sure it's feeling pretty bad for JTB, having gone to Pod and Eastern, and only having a flute and a fairy in a bottle to show for his efforts. Because that is a lot of time spent. He's going to lose quite a bit of time double dipping both of those dungeons, but...
The thing that he can make up some time is if, once he gets mitts, he doesn't dip ice and ice has nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He might be able to make up a little time that way.
Yeah, even though tstew did have that death in Thieves Town, he's made up a significant amount of time, thankfully to his opponent's decision making, which is just the nature of rando sometimes. Oh, you thought wrong. Dude, those berries are so good. They know how to time it perfectly. Like, that happens all the time, especially in, like, T-Rock or something when you're on the conveyor belt at the beginning of the dungeon. They're like, don't you do it. And they do it.
So I gotta imagine if JTB's feeling behind here, he's gonna skip the basement. As tstew's trying to set up a bomb jump. Looks like he's got it now.
Yeah, he's got it. One word of advice, and something that a lot of runners tend to use, is if you don't have the boots to kind of inch your way over to the edge, you charge a sword spin and like let it go as you're like struggling to stay on the floor, on the ground. It kind of puts you in a position to be right up on the edge, which doesn't make much sense coming out of my mouth until you try it, but it's a pretty convenient way to do that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're just trying to move yourself a pixel and using the sword spin to basically stop yourself after moving one pixel.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's top 128, by the way.
Moldorm doesn't care about your rank.
Nice. That's rough. Gosh, I don't think I've seen a middle hole Hera in this stage of the tournament yet, so congratulations, JTB. That is unfortunate, though. But, you know...
Just keep your back keep your back away from the hole.
Don't do it. Alright, still nothing in this Ice Palace. But yeah, here's the thing. If there is something in here, JTB can't go to Ice Palace without that sword from Skull Woods. So he's going to do other stuff once he's done up here. Who knows? He might just go, after doing Desert, he might go right... I feel like he would probably go to Mire. Oh, he is going to go for the Hera basement. That is interesting. Oh, there's a hook shot. tstew is running away with this. That does give us... Well, that's going to make his trip back up to Dark Death Mountain when he makes it a lot more efficient, being able to check Hookshot Cave. That also puts all of Green Pendant Swamp Palace into play. Ugh.
So the sequence we've got is Mirror to Book to Mitts to Hookshot.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right. Alright. Who knows? There might still be more stuff in this dungeon. Yeah, and also in the iced tea room, which is just one of the worst rooms to get to in this ice palace. That is our third bottle. One more item over here, and then... Or no, he still needs to check the spike room. Oh, well, of course. Bombos leading to Fire Rod. Wow, cool. How original. Very funny. And now, just insult to injury, just put a Master Sword in this dungeon, too.
So at this point, we can clear Skull Woods, clear Ice Palace. That's 3 crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any others we can clear just yet. Need to get to 6.
The problem for JTB as well is, like, I was thinking if he found Fire Rod and a sword, that might send him to Skull Woods, or he'd get his other sword. But now with Fire Rod being locked behind a sword, boy, he ain't never getting that unless he finds another sword soon, so... Huh. This is very interesting.
I mean, in this place, if you're JTB, you need tstew to miss something. But unfortunately, with the 6/6 on, there's a bit less chance of that happening.
Yeah, he needs... For JT, he needs, like, tstew to full clear Green Pendant Swamp for nothing. That's about it. This is going to be tough. JTB's got quite a mountain to climb if he wants to catch up in this race. Of course, this is a Game 3. The winner of this moves on in the brackets. The loser of this has to play another set.
So tstew starting with some Fire Rod strats, gets 2 puffs down that way. Got to be a little careful with the third.
Going for hammer strats. He can take a couple more hits. He can take 1 more hit from the icicle. Please be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful.
Oh, gosh. Oh. Wow.
Okay.
I think an icicle would have only done another heart, but yeah, that was a little spooky. But tstew does take down Colster, acquires his 2nd crystal, and now it's just a matter of what you gonna do next? Where you going, big guy? Looks like JTB's gonna go check that ether tablet. tstew has Dark Death Mountain he could do. He can go... No, that's pretty much it, aside from... Well, Smith Chain. Yeah, he has all the myths checks left still. But, you know, if progression ends up being over in, like, Mireshed, he's got Swamp, too.
I think his next play is going to be Skullwoods.
Yeah, that's true. That is a crystal. And it's a quick dungeon. And he's already full cleared the front of it, so it's just 2 items in the back. And then, you know, he could mirror and check that good old pedestal. But at this point... Well, I mean, it's impossible to even calculate what could be on the pedestal when we don't even have all of our pendant info.
Yeah. It's pretty unlikely if there is something on there that any of it would be worthwhile. Or at least be required. I shouldn't say worthwhile, but anything would be required. We'd have to, but yeah, without knowing all of our everything, it's knowledge, which is good.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like JTB is going to follow the same path that tstew took to get to Desert. And I would assume a Mire check right away. Mire check, Mire shed, checkerboard. Still, you know, Samari away from go mode. We definitely need a bow because we're still, either Eastern or Pod's going to be required. And we do need boots for desert. So we're not done yet, folks. We still got quite a few items we're looking for at this point, as well as another sword.
Well, the bow's an interesting case because if one of Eastern or Desert's a pendant, your first bow could be in GT.
Oh, I see what you're saying. One's a pendant, and then the other one is the crystal you skip. Oh, that'd be sick. I want that. That'd be awesome. Where you going, GTB? Oh, you going to swamp? Don't do it. He's going to swamp.
Oh no.
He's got to be feeling behind. He's got to make some crazy plays.
Yeah, this is a swamp play.
The only thing I could imagine being here that would benefit him would be boots.
Boots. I guess
Sword?
bow or Samaria could help too.
Yeah, I mean, as long as what he's looking for isn't in the back, this might pay off. All right, let's see this Mothula fight. A couple fire rods, not really working out. Switching to hammer. Down to 3 hearts, gotta be careful. He does have... No, he only has that blue potion. That fairy was in Eastern Palace. He's trying to hold on to this blue potion, gonna have to use it before he gets struck in the head. Which wouldn't have killed him, but...
That would have.
Oh yeah, he would have. He'd be dead already.
So I will say with this being MC Shuffle for JTB... as T-Stew's about to take down Mothula, hopefully.
Holy cow.
Okay, there it goes. That's going to be T-Stew's 3rd crystal.
Whew. I was like, don't you die to moth. I don't know what to... I wouldn't know how to comment on that. That fight can get a little out of hand, though, even with Fire Rod. Hammer, if you're not comfortable with hammer moth. But that is another crystal for T-Stew, and this is going to be that pedestal check. JTB getting a big key in the first item chest of Swamp, so that's going to be one more thing you can check as well. But yeah, this is such a slow check. JTB needs something important. What do we got on the pedestal? It's a shield. There you have it, chat. That's pretty... Dude, that's pretty hype, right?
So anyway, as I was saying this earlier, good thing for JTB is since there's no map or compass in here, he's not, at least going to the left side is going to have some value. Well, it's more likely to have some value. T-Stew might be leaving that chest behind in the back of Skullwoods because...
Ooh. Ice Rod in the big chest of Swamp.
Okay.
Okay. So if T-Rock is a crystal, that's good for JTB. If it's a crystal we're gonna do, it might still be useless.
Yeah, I think T-Stew figured that chest in the back was probably a small key. Why he didn't go check it? Since the big key can't lead to a small key since it was on Mothula.
Yeah, having a bit of knowledge on key logic for dungeons is very beneficial to saving you a little bit of time here and there. That was one of the things that I learned only recently in Skullwoods, but that's because only recently they randomized the pinball room. Okay, but yeah, that Ice Rod might be a huge play for JTB if T-Stew decides to do other stuff. But the thing is, T-Stew, unless he finds something up on Dark Death Mountain or here through the Smith Chain, that looks like he's about to do next, it's probably... I don't know, I would probably do Swamp before making that Pod Eastern dive, wouldn't you?
It's really hard to say because Pod Eastern at this point, since he hasn't touched either, that's essentially at least 10 checks.
But Swamp has 8 checks plus green pendant. So it's basically the same thing. Eh?
Yeah, but if one of them is a crystal, you're at least making progression towards the crystal is, oh, tstew found the cane.
Eh? Alright, well, we're starting to unravel the pieces here. At this point, we're just looking for the boots, we're looking for another sword, and we're looking for some dungeon information. I forgot, did tstew even grab the map that was off Desert Ledge? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't, because he jumped out the right side.
Tisk tisk.
Well, JTB is onto a half heart.
And just a fire shield on left side. So JTB only find that ice rod here in Swamp, but that could still help him out in the long run, depending on what tstew decides to do, and if T-Rock ends up being a crystal that we decide to complete. But man, I'm still liking that whole bow and GT thing. I want that. That'd be great. I feel like 6-6 could be an interesting mode if it allows it to be. I feel like more often than not, you end up having 6 crystal dungeons that you can do, and a 7th crystal dungeon you just can't do unless you go to GT and find the item there.
Just rupees from the purple chest. It is looking like more and more likely that the back of Swamp has the next piece of progression.
Well, not necessarily.
We got Dark Death Mountain.
Also, we will, with the piece of the puzzle, depending on if we have the correct medallion, Misery Mire could have stuff, because, you know, we do have Hookshot and Samaria to potentially get through that dungeon.
Let's see what tstew finds up here.
It looks like JTB is either... I think he's going to get this map here. Yeah, otherwise he would have just mirrored out. But we're probably going to see our Mire area soon. So this could be beneficial. Is it Thieves Town? Turtle Rock. Hey, there we go. That's good. That's good info.
Now he's going to go check the Mire area now.
Nice little hook block clipping in Super Bunny on tstew's side. JTB, check the map. Check the map. Check the map. Quake. Alright. Oh, there's the Thieves Town map. Found it. Oh, that's actually kind of bad if JTB decides to go into Mire right now.
He can't, though. He can't go into Mire. He doesn't have access to get beyond the front door.
Oh, yeah, with that hookshot. You're right. That's good. Never mind. Wow, okay. Well, now, with the information we have, Mire is completely accessible. But neither player can do it, because they don't have the other items. Oh, but, well, there's the other medallion. Jeez, what is going on?
I'd say I was not paying attention. I did not see what Turtle Rock is.
Apparently it was also Quake, so double Quake.
Okay.
And this is good for JTB. He does have his sword. The next question is, does he go to Dark Death Mountain?
No.
Smith Chain? Graveyard?
Yeah, I gotta think this is Smith Chain. Which is good for him, because he'll get Samaria.
Oh, sorry. I think T-Rock is Bombos. Otherwise, tstew's
okay.
Killing time here. But here's the thing. T-Rock is a crystal. We're going to need that ice rod out of Swamp Palace. And tstew's looking to clear T-Rock, looking for the ice rod.
JTB just confirmed Turtle Rock is a crystal.
Oh, this is getting wild and crazy. This is exciting. We're still missing a couple items, though, but that is, you know, we know where 2 swords are. We still need to find the bow, but at this point, you might be right about the bow thing.
Yeah, because one of Eastern is going to be a crystal, the other is going to be a pendant.
Ooh. Huh.
So if bows are locked, right now I think JTB's best hope is the bows are locked in GT.
So tstew's gonna have to make that decision to go into pod without bow to get the flute. Huh. This got really interesting really fast. But, you know, I gotta say, 6-6 MC Shuffle sounds terrifying as a player, but as a viewer, it's pretty interesting. Especially after doing all of this, you know, open 7-7, standard 7-7 is a nice change. So JTB needs to go straight to Ice Palace. And with that, might, you know, could considerably take an edge, take a lead here, maybe. Oh, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to call that, to be honest. I mean, he could go up Dark Death Mountain.
I mean, we also still need to find... The other possibility, though, too, is... Where are the boots?
They're probably in Mire. That's where I'd put them. Oh, okay. Oh, man. All right. Assuming JTB full clears Ice Palace, he's going to get his hook shot, and he's going to potion.
Oh, he's grabbing a potion. So
I was like, what are you doing? I was like, don't do this, man. I got you baited.
Yeah, that's a smart move. You never know, and going into ice, you want to have that safety.
So at this point, what could tstew find in... If tstew finds, like, the bow in or in T-Rock, that things could get really interesting.
If he finds the bow or boots, things will get interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's going to have to double dip this dungeon no matter what. Because we know where the ice rod is.
Well, we won't have to double dip the... He won't have to double dip it if he gets both.
If he gets the... That's the thing, is if he finds the bow, you can skip desert. You don't need the boots. But you'd have to get the ice rod.
You would have to get the ice rod to go in the swamp, which might be one of his last checks. But if he finds bow and boots, that ice rod is not needed.
Yeah, and you can skip T-Rock. Interesting.
Technically, these runners both also each need a sword. We know tstew's gonna just basically fall across one at some point. I doubt he doesn't check... Well, he's gonna check Mire's Shed because Quake goes right next to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking after JTB gets the fire rod, he will probably realize that there's still items left in Skull and might check Pinball Room to get his sword after killing Mothula, but we'll see. Otherwise, he's kind of in danger because, you know, he's going to have to, like, check extra stuff along the way unless a sword falls in, like, Laser Bridge or Trinex or in one of these dungeons.
Little off in the bomb. There is tstew checking out Mimic Cave.
There's still so many possibilities right now, and it's very exciting. As I say that in a very monotonous voice. But it is. It is really interesting. JTB need to hit that switch, but...
I mean, the interesting thing about what you said about 6-6 is the number of... if you want to go permutations or combinations or whatever you want to call it, that can basically lead to you finishing the seed can be more than one. Which makes races more interesting because both runners could potentially finish the seed in different ways.
Yeah. So JTB not doing the Ice Palace bomb jump. It's going to allow him to get to the hook shot quicker because he doesn't have to like drop down and do all that nasty stuff. And he does have Samaria, and he's going to full clear the dungeon anyway. But I feel like it's just always faster to do it regardless.
Since he's not going to hit go mode in ice, I definitely understand it. Ooh, tstew just ran out of magic. Does he have a potion he can use? doesn't.
Yeah, he just needs to mirror out, and then there's I think 1 or 2 magic pots in the left room with the 2 pokies. He just needs to go over there. There's 1 in the bottom left.
Okay, he's at the hook shot. He can cross that way.
So this is interesting. tstew does have crystal advantage right now. It looks like he has a pretty tremendous lead, but having JTB checking a lot of extra stuff, found the ice rod in Swamp Palace Big Chest, and found the flute in the front of Palace of Darkness. And as far as we know, both of those are required, so JTB can do all of T-Rock once he goes up to do Dark Death Mountain. So at this point, we're just looking for bow and boots. That's it. Bow or boots, excuse me. Well, we still need bow for GT, so yes, bow and boots. Or just bow. Sorry.
Well, I don't know how these runners feel about Mimic Clip. So,
I mean, JTB was dropping that Moldorm bounce in practice right before the race, so I'm sure he's versed in it. I don't know about tstew, though. All right, JTB about to find his fire rod over here on the right side. I think that was the only 2 items in this dungeon worth any value. And can't imagine him not going straight to Skullwoods like tstew did and just clearing that out. Oh, in a bottle, excuse me.
All right, laser bridge. 4 quick checks here. One of them will be a key.
Oh yeah, with no safeties, gonna have to just walk it out. Okay. So that's... So yeah, we don't need boots. Unless Big Key's on the torch in GT. We can just skip desert. Wow, what a turn of events. Oh, nice half magic find. That's a really good spot for that.
So for tstew at this point, it just comes down to where he either has to find the boots or the ice rod.
Yep.
Oh, he's saving his portal.
Okay. I wonder where he's gonna go.
He's hoping to find the ice rod so he can come back and clear it. Unfortunately,
yeah, it's not gonna work.
Not gonna be able to save that.
Yeah,
but that also basically tells you he's not doing swamp for a while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense. You just go do Pod and Easter, and he'll get his flute, and then he can go do Mire. He'll get his Master Sword, Quake over there as well. And, you know, who knows? If he finds boots in there, then his problems are resolved.
Unfortunately, well, unless the boots are on either Helmasaur or Armos, we know he's not going to find the boots in Eastern or Pod.
I mean, if this 6-6 is like any other 6-6, the boots are in GT. Come on, let's get real. Actually, if it's like any other just normal rando seed, the boots are in GT.
But I mean, I can basically tell you what tstew's route's going to be. He's going to full clear Eastern, full clear Pod. He's going to then go into Mire and full clear that. Which is another place where boots could be that would help him.
Mm-hmm.
JTB just got his second crystal out of Ice Palace. Second crystal at 1 hour, 12 minutes. You're definitely not feeling too good about that.
No. And I feel like a lot of his... It's interesting because, like, him missing the mirror on Spectacle Cave sent him on this wild journey that ended up getting him, you know, some other items, some other good stuff. And had he just got the mirror, he'd probably be in a similar situation as tstew right now. Maybe. So it's hard to say if his decision making earlier cost him or helped him. Just got to see how the rest of this plays out. And will he get his sword in Skullwoods that he missed out on? Yeah, I'm sure JTB doesn't really want to... He can go do Mire at this point. I'm sure he doesn't want to with just Fighter Sword and Hammer. Probably hoping he finds that bow first. So yeah, the interesting thing is we've seen most of Eastern and Pod. We have not seen what the bosses have. So those could still be opportunities to find the boots, another sword, maybe the other bow. There's still a couple fetch quest items we haven't found. The powder we haven't found. Shovel, and then we still have, or it's just junk. It could just be junk.
So JTB is rushing Mothula at this point, which actually I think if assuming he has the crystal knowledge he has down there, this does make sense for him to rush Mothula, because the moment he gets a bow, he knows he's in go mode. I don't know if he has all the knowledge we do. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice little double slash there. The Gibdo into the blade. Take him down real fast. Get that small key. Let's see if JTB has a little bit easier of a fight against Mothula. tstew had quite a bit of trouble. Had to drop that blue potion. I don't think JTB has his anymore because he used it on Cold Stairs, so he just has the fairy in a bottle, but... Hammermoth is a wild ride. You have no idea how it's going to go, because it all depends on where Mothula decides to hang out. And if he's hanging out at the top like this, then you ain't going to do nothing to him. But
yeah, JTB gets him down. I think that's where having fire rod shots helps. It helps to try to dislodge Mothula from the north side of the room.
Mm-hmm.
That's JTB's third crystal. They're tied on crystals at this point. JTB is catching up a bit.
I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. Oh, what a nasty seed. So this should be a small key for JTB, and that's going to give him information about where the rest of his items are in this dungeon. I don't think he'll check pedestal at this point, because I think he knows that it can't be anything. Right?
I'm not sure.
He has his mirror out. No, he's... Okay. So yeah, at this point, if JTB gets his sword, he'll hit go mode as soon as he does T-Rock.
We're about to get an item check on Armos, as well as a pendant or crystal check for the rest of our information.
Just some bombs, and there's our last pendant. Palace of Darkness is going to be our last crystal dungeon, and with tstew heading right in there, going to get his flute, and then we'll see what he does next. But yeah, at this point, you can very much see him last locationing that ice rod. So he needs Helma to have the boots to bail him out.
He needs Helma to have the boots, or for the boots to be in mire.
Mm-hmm.
JTB's still skipping the shooter room.
Does he?
Oh wait, no, wait. He might be going around. He's going around the wrong way.
Okay, all right. I feel like in one of his first races, in the qualifiers, maybe not the first one, but in one of them, he didn't realize that was pinball room was randomized, and it ended up having I don't know, something valuable. So I feel like he should know, but he's probably thinking to himself like, oh man, I could have had this a long time ago. We'll have to ask him about that for sure.
So that's Skullwood's done for JTB. Let's see where he goes next.
So both players skipping Graveyard Ledge, right? I don't think... we haven't seen Graveyard Ledge or Catfish at this point.
Correct.
Huh.
He's starting up on Death Mountain. He's not pulling out the flute. I think this is the Dark Death Mountain and Turtle Rock play for him.
All right, well. This is looking... well, until that moment, looking pretty good for JTB. There's still an opportunity for these boots to show up out of the blue.
Yeah. If JTB has made up a lot of time, all of a sudden, I can't. I don't know if either of them has the advantage right now. I think I'd give it slightly to JTB because we know he can clear 6 dungeons once he's done with Turtle Rock. I don't know about tstew though. It really comes down to that boots location.
Well, what costs more time? Double dipping Eastern and Pod or double dipping T-Rock? Yes. Good answer.
Yeah.
A little low on that bomb toss. So just as a reminder, this is Game 3. This is 6-6, which means we only need 6 of our 7 crystals to enter GT to defeat Aga 2, and then those 6 crystals are all we need to beat up Ganon to finish this seed. And for a while we were like, all right, well, so you can skip one of the crystal dungeons. And for a while we were like, all right, we either need boots or we need bow. And we found the bow on the laser bridge in Turtle Rock, meaning that desert is very likely going to be the crystal that we skip. However, the boots could still show up in one of these checks that we haven't seen over on tstew's side, whether on Helma or in Mystery Mire, assuming he goes there next. And would allow him just to skip having to beat T-Rock for his last dungeon, which would be super advantageous because you're already in the Mire area and could completely flip this race. But it's just gonna be in GT. You know it, I know it, chat knows it.
The odds are definitely in the favor of it being in GT at this point.
The runners know it because they're probably already done because we're on a 20-minute delay.
I have no idea. I don't have IRC up right now. It's hidden.
Yeah, I don't either.
On my desktop.
And more than likely, we're just never going to see the boots, ever.
Chat saying boots back of swamp. If they're in the back of swamp, we're not seeing them because if tstew goes in there,
yeah,
he gets that ice rod, he's out.
Yeah, JTB's got a bit of a long walk before he gets his go mode in bow on the laser bridge. And then all he has to do is go do Mire and go back and kill Helma. The thing is, he doesn't know which dungeon's the crystal. I don't think.
The thing is, I can't say this for sure, but my guess is he would go for Pod first because if he's wrong, he can mirror to Eastern a little faster.
God, that would feel bad if you're in go mode and you you clear the wrong dungeon. Oh, MC Shuffle, you so silly.
JTB just mirrors back to the entrance. Considering what he had, it's about the same time to get back through that roller room as it is to mirror and go back through this room.
And there's also still the possibility that GT Big Key could be on the torch. So
But we're about to find another piece of information here. tstew is going for Helmasaur. This is an item we don't know. He's leaving the big key chest behind because he knows that's a small key.
oh yeah, JTB does have a Master Sword. That still hasn't been updated yet. There was a sword in Mire Shed that tstew's probably going to get after doing this. We haven't seen any other swords other than those two. And no silvers, so, you know. Still possibility of, you know, Master Sword silverless, or, you know, who knows? Maybe a different route in GT could switch things up. This race is far from over.
Oh, JTB's got to be careful. He is down to a heart and a half.
I think he does still have that fairy in a bottle, so... Yeah, he has the one that he got in Eastern Palace.
And not having a Master Sword for this room kind of knocks you off pattern a little bit.
Yeah, if I'm in this situation, I usually switch to, like, Fire Rod or something.
I was actually more referring to tstew there, not having the Master for those...
No, that's what I'm talking about. I would switch to Master Sword for the turtles. Or the Fire Rod for the turtles. Alright, Helma, what do you got for us, baby? Sword upgrade would be nice. Silvers would be nice. That is kind of the other thing about MC Shuffle, is that the majority of bosses are going to have an item.
Yeah, I think the only ones you really can't say that about are like Vitreous, and Moldorm. Any boss that basically can have a small key.
Cold Stare, Moth, Viola.
The Mothia key. Well, Mothia can have the big key, which would lead to another item.
Aw. A bee in a bottle. It's our 4th bottle. Wow. All right. Well, that is another dungeon down to the Crystal 4 tstew. Moment of truth for him, but very likely probably going to be heading into the mire area. And probably going to want to still save... Nope. Portal's gone now. Unless he already got rid of it when he mirrored in front of Pod to do Eastern.
No, he should have still has his portal.
Alright, tstew gonna go activate that flute, probably heading over to the mire area where he will get his Master Sword, Quake, and Ether medallion, which was over in Checkerboard. And probably diving headfirst into mire. Has the bow, Master Sword. Gonna need to find a few extra arrows along the way if he wants to use that on Vitreous. But that's still information that we haven't... There's, what, 4 items in
Four
mire?
items in mire plus Checkerboard Cave. Oh, wait, no. Or, I don't know. Actually, no, I think JTB might have checked Checkerboard. I can't remember.
Yeah, that had Ether.
Okay. So 4 items in mire.
All right, GTB about to hit potential go mode. We don't know until we see what is on that GT torch, but... oh, gosh.
He's going to take the safety door. He's too low on health.
I was just waiting for him to get, like, 1.0 lasered and have his game crash. Half magic. Small key. Fall down hole.
There's Quick and Master Sword for tstew.
You ever see an hour and 27-minute go mode? Maybe go mode on JTB side, but more importantly, an hour 27-minute Master Sword. That's rough. Okay.
tstew knows he's 1 item from go mode, so he's going to check this first.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't need it. Tracker getting a little too excited. Did not pick up that ether. Please remove that from his tracker. Get that out of here.
JTB going to the Trinex fights. At 2 hearts, he's got to be pretty careful. He does still have that fairy, though. And he's going to go for the ice head first. Or he just faked me out.
What is this? JTB, what are you doing? What is this Master Sword, Trinex? Get that hammer out, you goof. I disapprove of this.
All right, tstew going into mire. If you're rooting for tstew right now, you need to root for him to find the boots in here.
Boots would be... Well, yeah, Boots would just immediately put him back in the lead. Because he can finish this dungeon, then just immediately go beat Desert. While JTB still has to go all the way back and has to make the decision on Eastern versus Pod. So if Trinex has an Eastern or Pod map, assuming JTB doesn't already have that information, that would be pretty significant. Oh,
he's gotta be careful. He used his fairy already.
Don't die. See, this is why you do hammer strats on Trinex. Alright, well, he takes him down to 1 heart. What do we got? Wow! Well, that's huge. That's actually going to be pretty significant for the Vitreous fight. Silver arrows right away.
And even if that actually might help JTB even more, because if tstew does find boots here, that's a big advantage for JTB going into the Ganon fight, especially if there's not another sword they can find.
2 bows in T-Rock. Oh, now that's funny.
So JTB starting in mire though, and this is a god mire. He can, if he chooses to, he can go straight to Vidi.
This is a rough situation for tstew. I mean, he's gonna have, after he full clears mire, he's gonna have nothing left but Swamp Palace or Graveyard Ledge Catfish, and you know, those are such faraway checks when you don't have the boots. You know you don't want to do those at all. This is also, however, Pyramid Fairy access once you complete mire, so he might even go for that as well.
tstew going for the cutscene chest. Because this is MC Shuffle, I think this has to have an item.
Was there a small key in the other room?
No, tstew's already got the big key.
Oh.
I'm not 100% sure about the logic, but I think this might have to be an item. I guess I didn't check if there was a small key in that other chest or not.
Yeah, I don't know. The only rules I know is that if there's a small key in Compass Room, there's a big key in here. Alright.
Oh, it was red, but not the red you wanted.
Alright, for JTB, he needs Vitreous to give him a map for Eastern or Pod.
I think he's going to do Pod first, just because it makes sense to go to Pod, then mirror to Eastern. But I guess at the same time, you could also reason it also is quick to just flute to 5, go into Eastern. Because Pod is a little bit more of a walk. So I guess I don't know now.
That's also assuming he doesn't already have the information. I don't think we've seen maps for either of those dungeons, so...
We have not.
Okay.
We only know because tstew cleared both.
And... Okay.
So tstew did, I think he skipped some chests in here?
Yeah, he skipped the 2 on the right. I don't know if he skipped the 1 in the big room or not. And he's already found, I think, 2 of the 4 items. But at this point, you gotta be thinking, oh, I gotta cut some corners. I gotta save some time here and there. But they are gonna get in the fight around the same time. JTB with the silvers in hand gonna have a much easier fight. Okay, he does have his fairy still, so don't worry about tstew too much. So now you can worry. Now he doesn't have that fairy. Burna.
So that is JTB's 5th crystal.
All he has to do now is make the decision. Pod or Eastern?
So he's going to flute to 5 regardless. The question is, does he pull the hammer right out or does he go up? He's doing pod first.
All right, well, this is clearly the right play, though he doesn't know it yet.
And I think this securely puts JTB in the lead at this point.
Ooh, gotta be careful. And now he doesn't even have enough arrows to just take out the big eye quickly. So he's gonna have to use some sword spins or hammer. Oh, please be careful. Oh gosh.
Playing some whack-a-viddy and it's not going quite
Nice,
well. There
alright.
it is.
Oh gosh. When he whiffed that one swing, I was like, that's it. It's over. It's so interesting to think that maybe JTB missing that mirror ended up helping him out in the end.
Yeah, it is a little weird that, you know, it just... Him going to Swamp at the time, we thought that was a huge time loss, but it's so far, right? It's the thing that's saving him.
At the same time, that Ice Rod could have easily been in the back of Swamp. And we'd still would be looking for that Ice Rod probably at this point. But yeah, I can understand tstew wanting to check more extra stuff in the overworld before finally making the Swamp play. But time is running out.
He was stocking up on potions. Going to 4. Could this be the Swamp play?
It's either that or the Pyramid Fairy play.
He's going through the portal. Does he go up or down? It looks like it's Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah. I honestly don't blame him.
This still could be fine for him if he finds boots at Pyramid Fairy.
Dude, that'd be so sick. Oh, I hope that happens. I just want this to be a possibility. Because either we're just never going to find boots or they're in GT, and that makes me sad.
If boots are at Pyramid Fairy, this could be too close to call.
I mean, on one side, JTB's going to be heading into GT right now once he grabs the crystal here. But, you know, boots can make up quite a bit of time throughout the dungeon.
So the other thing is, JTB still has those silver arrows that, unless tstew goes into Swamp, is never going to get.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, why are we're being so optimistic. You know the boots aren't going to be here. Maybe a sword. You know, nice 10 arrow drop. Oh yeah, anyway. I guess he never did check the pyramid. But yeah, with that, JTB is going to be heading up to GT. He's going to be looking for that big key. And, the suspense.
Bottle two
big 20s. God. That's unfortunate. And he's getting a hook shot out, which means he's gonna go check Graveyard Ledge and Catfish at this point.
So the one thing that can still throw this race into complete chaos is if that GT big key is on the torch.
1 out of 22 chance. We've seen it happen before. Hell, it's happened to me before. It's not fun, but it does happen.
Yeah.
I think I was at SG Live, yeah. I had Beaky on Torch, T-Rock Medallion in Stalfos room, and Boots were in T-Rock. It was great. It was perfect. It was the dream. Alright, what's on Catfish? Anything to get excited about? Anything at all? Ah, our container.
At some point, if you're tstew, you just gotta look at it and say, there's up to 8 items in Swamp. I just have to make the play.
Yeah. Spike Cave? He does have Burna. He did get that off of Vitreous.
Yeah. This is probably Spike Cave play.
He also didn't check Ether Tablet, so... I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. He left that behind.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's 3 bombs from JTB's side.
Yeah. Alright, here we are in Ganon's Tower. JTB going to check the 2 on the right first. If he gets a small key, he might continue further on the right side. Or he might head out and go left. We got a small key. We got a shovel.
One thing about GT without boots is it really messes you up as a runner. You're so used to having boots for this climb. You don't have boots, it just feels off.
What are you talking about? I'm not used to having boots ever in this game because they don't exist.
I think you need to play a little more NMG.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, we got 10 arrows on the right. We got the big 20. We got the compass for desert. We got the compass for this dungeon. Wow. Thanks.
Okay, so he's probably gonna grab the key here and mirror.
Nobody. Oh my god, the boots in Spike Cave.
Boots.
They're not in GT. Oh,
Big
wow.
one coming up right here.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, well, color me surprised. I was not expecting the boots to be available. I mean, the thing is, they had bottles. They had health. They could have gotten those boots a lot sooner. Of course, nobody likes to route in Spike Cave without first finding a safety, generally speaking. Tempered Sword and Stalfos room. Honestly, that's gonna seal it right there.
Yeah, that is.
That's I mean, he's gonna have Tempered Sword Silverless. He's gonna have the boots, but
He has Temper Sword Silvers.
no, I'm talking about tstew
Oh, yeah, you're right.
when he gets up there.
tstew could definitely make up some time, but yeah, this is definitely JTB's race to lose at this point.
This is so cool. I'm glad this happened. I didn't think it was possible that you could have had an opportunity to pick one or the other. I mean, the thing is, you still would have had to have done all of T-Rock up to Laser Bridge to get a bow, so... tstew still looking for a sword upgrade or silvers probably at this point. Knows he's not going to find it. Oh, well, there's the pod map, right side desert. Man, just think if he had checked Spike Cave right after. I don't think he had any potions leaving T-Rock anyway. Yeah, honestly that's a tough call to make regardless. There's the big key over on Veranda Room. For JTB, he's gonna be heading up to the gauntlet. I think that was 17. Since he skipped the torch.
16. Yeah, it was 15 on his counter when he got it, so it would have been chest.
Oh yeah, because he just opened up a fourth chest. Sorry. Wow, really cool. Thanks, Compass. Tempered sword, silver arrows, plenty of health. I don't know. I think he's got a B. I don't think he has anything else in his bottles, so nothing really to work with. But red mail, you know, he should be good to go going up here. This was a cool seed. I really like this one. I don't know how these runners feel about this seed, but I had fun, JP.
Yeah, I mean that twist at the end where it potentially could have gone either way could have made this this definitely could have been a very interesting seed, especially if you had put this in, say, a qualifier.
Yeah,
it would have
for
been
sure.
really interesting to see how people would have done this in this one.
See, I think 6-6 could be more interesting if all the items available to clear all 7 dungeons are like outside of GT. I guess another way you could fix that would be like, I don't know. Nah, 5-6 GT just sounds dumb. But it is one of the cool things about V31 is the fact that you can pick or just straight up randomize how many crystals you need to clear. You need to get into GT. You could just do zero GT and just have it open from the start. But it kind of opens up for these different ways to play the game. And it's a great way to stay in shape.
That was a quick Lambo 2 fight from JTB, continuing his climb. T-Stew's on his way to GT right now.
Dude, the other thing is, if they had found boots earlier, technically they could have skipped Pod, or going back and killing Helma.
Yeah,
and could have had Bo for Go mode on Laser Bridge just for GT. Like, this seed had so many possibilities, and at least we're getting 2 of them, so that's cool.
I mean, there's definitely those possibilities. I think, thinking about like the Hera, I don't know if there's anything required in Hera, so you technically could have skipped that. Who's going to skip that, though?
That would have been silly.
I've seen a couple people talk about T-Stew not using his boots. I think when you're in this position as a runner, when you've gone through an hour 45 of a seed without boots, and then you suddenly get them, it takes you a while to click before, oh, I've got boots, I should be using them.
Yep, yeah, you definitely see that a lot. Alright, nice thing is JTB did pick up that powder as well, so can powder the Antifaries and Bunny Beam in the next room to get health back up to full. Feeling nice, comfy, confident, going into this Aga 2 fight. Well, first we gotta get past Molderum 2. If he doesn't Molderum bounce right now, I'm gonna be upset. Do it! You were practicing it for a reason. Come on. Nah, it's okay. It's a stupid thing anyway.
Yeah. And he's probably thinking... He's probably sitting there right now in chat, and he's thinking, T-Stew's about to done. I've probably blew this race. And
well, I know...
He's probably panicking as he's doing this right now.
I know he's sitting and watching this restream right now and listening to me call him a dingus to his face. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Until he comes into the interview and probably within the next 10 minutes or so.
Nah, I'll be gone. I got a thing, you know. Well, the nice thing is at the end of this, it still ended up being close, at least as a runner. Of course, nobody likes losing, but at least if you're gonna drop a game, at least you're in GT when your opponent finishes. There's like a small consolation prize, I guess. Nice double there to start. Ooh, almost got another double there. Dude, the angles! Oh. That was really nice. Well done on JTB's side. That was impressive.
All right. I got 2 down. It's time for the Ganon fight, and tempered silvers. It's about as easy as you want it as a runner.
Mm-hmm. Tstew's not going to be too far behind, grabbing his big key from the random room along here. But clearly far enough behind that JTB's going to have to... I don't know. There's really nothing he can do. Game, set, and match. Though, if he takes a couple more fire bats to the face. Yes, you have red melt. That's very cool, JTB. Boy, I need to teach you how to 1-1. Oh, you did get the 1-1. Boy, I need to teach you how to 1-1 without taking so much damage.
Phase 3 Ganon warps are nice so far. When you get a lot of Ganon warps in this phase, it feels so bad, especially if your opponent hasn't not done yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Almost getting a triple to start things off, but a double will suffice. Send him right in the middle of the room to hit him with another double. And JTB takes down Ganon. Will potentially be the winner of this Game 3 set and will be making his way to the top 64 brackets. GG's in chat for JTB. That was a cool scene. I like that scene.
Official time, 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 47 seconds. I think JTB also might be the first of the quote-unquote 4 seeds to advance.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty impressive that he 2-0'd Korik in the first round of this group stage. But at the same time, this tournament's stacked. It really is. And especially when you throw in the luck factor of the randomizer, like, you know, there's a good possibility that a lot of these runners could win it all. Hey, JTB, why'd you reset your timer? That's not your finish time. 0. Okay, there you go. Thank you. He heard me. Oh, he moved it a second forward.
He heard
calm down here, bud. Okay, he moved it back. Now it's blue again. How did he do that? Alright, let's see if we can get him in. Oh, he was in, but then he left.
He might be still setting up.
Okay. Yeah, that was really cool. That was a really cool seed. I really enjoyed that. I'm just so glad we did eventually find the boots and Tstew was able to not have to go all the way back through T-Rock. Just that as a possibility is interesting to me. Though, unfortunately for him, it does mean that he missed the silvers on Trinex, naturally.
Tstew on Landmo 2. No silver, so he's got the fire rod with half magic out.
Alright, I do believe we have JTB in chat. GG's, good sir, on your victory.
Thank you. That was not a game I thought I was gonna win.
You know, when you double dip Pod Eastern and you dip Swamp without a hook shot, I would feel the same way too. I do have to ask though, I'm obviously it was just a decision, but is that something you normally would do, skipping Spectacle Cave like that?
If there's a lot still around that could potentially have the mirror, then yeah, just to save me just the walk up or having to do that twice. So maybe I need to rethink that strat because that definitely was not.
But yeah, at the end of this, we saw the boots and Spike Cave on tstew's side, because we had been talking over and over until we found the bow, like the possibility of what each of your all's 6 crystal could have been. And I'm sure, I don't know if you and tstew talked about it in IRC or not. And did he share with you where the boots were?
I saw they were in Spike Cave, so I was watching the restream, and I heard certain comments about me, but I refrained from saying anything in chat because I'm a good tournament player and not spoiling anything.
It's a good thing, being professional. I appreciate it. But yeah, what was obviously you're going through your mind. You're diving into Green Pennant Swamp. You're like, please give me something. What were you hoping to find in there? Mitts, I think was. Is that on the?
I think that
docket. Yeah. Mitts are always in swamp, right?
Oh yeah, except when they're not.
Except when they're not.
But I think I was just looking for anything. Mitts would have been like the best because it just felt like I went 45 minutes without finding any kind of progression. So I was like, literally, you can give me like powder and I'll go through that.
Yeah.
Because it's something else I could do. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that finding Ice Rod there was going to be like the deciding factor, to be honest.
Yeah. We were wondering as well, because like you missed that sword in Skull Woods forever. Would you like to tell us about that?
So I didn't want to get like soft locked and after dropping down, and I didn't even think about grabbing the key next to the big key chest or in that like area until like I walked out of Skull Woods. So I was like, oh, whatever, screw it. I'm just gonna leave it alone and hope for the best.
I think if you open if you at least open the middle chest and the first chest in the front to the right of the entrance, you're guaranteed to at least, at the worst, not soft lock yourself, because you'll either have gotten a key or you'll have a key in the other area.
Man, you're acting like I know key logic in this game. I don't know anything.
You know enough to get yourself into the bracket.
That is true, and thank goodness I could just stop playing this for like 2 weeks. Yeah, I know how you feel about that too.
Dude, I'm just having so much fun playing Luigi's Mansion. Anyway, we do have tstew in the Ganon fight. Took a lot less damage in the first 2 phases, so already got a leg up on JTB. That's good to see. You like to see.
I wonder if he's gonna take this game. He's doing pretty well so far in this phase 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an interesting seed throughout. A lot of back and forth with you. Diving dungeons you couldn't complete, but finding required or potentially required items. And then when it came down to T-Rock having the bow, and we were like, "Where's the boots? What are our options?" And it was just a very fun one to watch. When you were going for your last crystal, were you always going to do? Was pod your first choice regardless? I don't know if you had. I don't think you had information about which one was a pendant or a crystal.
Yeah, I didn't. It was a 50-50 for me. Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm watching the race too.
That's rough. If you're gonna take a fire bat to the face, just don't touch your D-pad at all. Just take the hit. You'll just get hit. You'll stand in place. I'm sure he knows that, but it's
it's stressful.
Heat of the moment.
I mean,
it's stressful. You think you could dodge it, but
I know, like I was super I'd closed IRC once I started the gauntlet, and was like I had no idea if I was gonna win or not. So I was like super stressed out that first phase. It's like, just let me get the 1-1 and go further, even if I have to use a bottle.
Yeah.
But for Pod and Eastern, I don't know, like, what is faster to do? Like, after everything's cleared, I thought maybe it was just gonna be Pod would be a little bit faster. But that's just, I don't have any, like, actual data to
Yeah, I mean,
back that
generally,
up.
if you have, I feel like you made the right decision because you could always mirror if Pod was wrong and save time there, as opposed to doing Eastern, running all the way down, going through the portal, and then running all the way back up. So I feel like, I feel like that's always the better decision to just go ahead and go for Pod and hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was hoping to find Boots though, because I really just wanted to do Mimic Lip in Ganon Sour.
Should have just gone to Spike Cave without Burnout at the beginning of the game. You had a fairy in a bottle, JTB. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm the same way. Like, I don't even think about Spike Cave until I have one of the 2 safety items, which is bad most of the time.
And it's even more ironic that JP is doing commentary for this too after I laid into him about Spike Cave on his race, so...
I mean, to be fair, you didn't really have any opportunities to do it until after Meyer. Because you were pretty much done up on Death Mountain once you...
Plus, you could have at least reasoned it was out of logic, since you didn't have the burnout or cape.
Yeah, that is true.
So, did you pick MC Shuffle? Was that your decision? Or did you do 6-6?
6-6.
Oh, okay, alright.
I really wanted to get like a low percent kind of seed. Like maybe like a Master Sword Ganon or something.
You kind of did.
Almost did.
For the most part. I mean, you made it low percent for yourself by skipping the Sword and Skull Woods. But that the silly thing is that ended up not hurting you for the most part, because tstew actually ended up taking a death in Thieves Town with the sword, right into the little green crickets or grasshoppers or lizards or whatever. But anyway, tstew does take down Ganon. We'll be finishing this race, coming in second place, and we'll be popping down into the loser side of his group, where he will be taking on the winner of Korik and Koride.
Which I think Korik actually took it this morning.
That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. People want to watch these races, JTB. That's a spoiler. That's why I'm being particularly ambiguous. Come on, man.
Sorry, Twitch chat. You'll just have to watch another match. But yeah, I mean, I'm also disappointed I can't do Moldorm bounce. I hope my Moldorm bounces showed up like before the race started. I got like 3 of them in a row.
I watched it. I commented on it. I said, "Dang it, JTB."
How dare you?
You made it look easy.
I don't know if I would have been able to do it like in that kind of situation though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's too stressed out.
There'd be no point doing it in this race. You're like, I already have the hook shot. This is dumb. Why would I waste time? Just to show
off. That's true too. I would never show off. I am
never
completely humble.
You're above that.
Yeah.
That's good. Good to hear. But yeah, top 64 brackets. How you ended up going? What 4-1, which is pretty good. So you should get pretty decent seed. How do you feel about being the first of the 4 seeds to actually make it into brackets? I believe you're the first.
I might be. I don't know. I haven't looked at the groups or anything.
Yeah.
But no, it feels good. Like I know like being in the 4th percentile or whatever, or the 4th seed from qualifiers is not really accurate for me. Just it's qualifiers are like my warm up period because it plays rando in between tournaments. Only Willard does that.
Yeah.
But but it was pretty difficult. Like it's going against Korik round 1 is super stressful. All our matches were then within 1 minute of each other.
Yeah.
And then obviously getting a seed like this too is pretty stressful as well. But I'm just glad to. But any match in the bracket, regardless of how you get in for seed or second, it's just going to be extremely difficult. So it just feels good to be able to take a break.
Breaks are good. Gives you time to play other video games or just play some wackier Link to the Past modes. Though this seed, I'd say, was relatively wacky.
Just a little bit.
Just a little wacky. We do also welcome tstew to the booth. Welcome. GG's on a hard-fought race.
GG's JTB.
GG's tstew. It was a hard series.
Yeah, this was something else.
I didn't catch your all's game 1 or 2, but I'm assuming by these comments that the set was pretty silly. A lot of wacky stuff. Or mostly just this one. This one was pretty up there.
I think this one just kind of blows our other 2 races out of the water.
For sure. tstew, we were going back and forth for a while about whether you were gonna find that ice rod or find those boots, and by golly, we were very excited to see those boots in Spike Cave. Though, of course, would have been cooler to see them a little bit earlier. But just tell us your thoughts about routing that, or skipping, putting off Swamp House. I know you wanted to save your portal, but unfortunately did not get to do that. But just run us through your mindset going through the tail end of this race.
I just kept following progression after Ice Palace, and I just never really wanted to go to Swamp. I just always had something else that progression was leading me towards.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good way to go about it. It was pretty unfortunate, I guess, for you to see Silver's Ron Trinex. Two bows in T-Rock. You don't really see that very often.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, Tempered Sword showing up in Stalfos Room was nice in general, though. Yeah. It would have been nice if the Tempered Sword had shown up in like Pyramid Fairy or one of the other checks that you made that JTB did not, or like in Mire, which he ended up go moding. But
yeah, it was just interesting that how you guys basically completed the seed in 2 different ways. JTB essentially went through Ice Rod, and you went through Boots to finish the seed.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's really interesting how we just did completely different dungeons there.
Well, unfortunately, you have another set to play. Or fortunately, if you're enjoying racing in the tournament and looking forward to more matchups. Because JTB already spoiled it, we do know that you'll be taking on Korik. How are you feeling about that matchup going into that? How are you feeling just in general?
I'm not that sure. Hope I can win, but not that sure if I will or not.
Well, it's random. You never know until you try. But yeah, just want to say GG's to both you guys on a very fun, very exciting race. Good luck to both of you in the next stage of the tournament, whether it's doing another set in groups or heading into brackets. We got plenty more Link to the Past Randomizer coming up, even on this very channel. So don't go anywhere. Don't do it.
Next up is a potential doubleheader between Hydropower and Divis Signs. Looks like Divis Signs, or however you pronounce his name, is up 1-0 in the set. The winner will go on to face the loser of the P-Train Edium match. So,
which is interesting because that match has already been decided because unfortunately Edium decided to drop out of the tournament. So whoever wins this set goes into the brackets. So that's exciting.
Yep.
Yay.
So if Deviz Signs wins either game, they'll advance. If Hydropower would have to sweep the two.
Alrighty, and with that, just want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to support your fellow commentators or the runners any way you see fit. Make sure you enjoy the rest of the tournament and the rest of the races we have going on today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Falcon, for tracking. And of course, thank you all for hanging out. Goodbye.